is way past the time of being trick-or-treating. They're wearing masks and they won't stop knocking. What do you do? Do you open? Do you hide? Do you call the police? In today's case, a couple is having a nice time together, enjoying a Halloween adult kind of night, until they get that knock and everything changes for them forever. So, if you're new around here, welcome to the Mystery Theory. I hope that you stick around, subscribe, and like this video if you enjoy true crime videos in an ASMR way. Let's talk about today's case that happened on Halloween 1981. Now, Ronald Sisman was a popular photographer at the time, and he had a younger girlfriend who was 19 years old at the time. He had a great afternoon. They enjoy each other's company, and at night he decides to invite his girlfriend over to his place for a Halloween photo shoot. They were having a good time, an adult kind of evening with adult beverages and good company. It wasn't anything special, but adding the photo shoot, it was really something more intimate. Until they hear a knock on the door. These people, the couple looks out the window and they can see that they're wearing masks. But it's Halloween, so it's not super weird. However, something told Ronald to not open the door. So he says, let's ignore them and hope that they go away. But the knock turned into banging, and Ronald was so upset that he decided to open the door. The bodies of Elizabeth Platzman, who was 19 years old, and Ronald Sisman, the photographer, were found early Saturday morning at the duplex Ronald had on West 22nd Street in Manhattan. This was his studio, but it was also his home. And being the successful photographer that he was, the police immediately assumed that this was a burglary gone wrong. His place was ransacked, and you could tell that the couple was severely beaten before being shot in the back of their heads at close range, execution style. The place was a mess. Furniture ripped, things torn apart. So the question is, what were they looking for? So a very long and painful beating, maybe to get where this stuff that they were looking for was at. What were they looking for, though? Some of the things that were missing was a gun registered to Ronald, and then her driver's license and his driver's license. But then some speculations of Ronald being involved in drugs was kind of the idea but she decided that she wasn't going to work with him anymore, and he moved on to this other, apparently this was a film producer, and he too tried to drug her. So the police thought that it was very unusual for this person to suffer the same luck, or that she was almost made into or forced to take these drugs twice. But you and I know that in the business, like in Hollywood, or people that are considered stars, we know that drugs are sometimes part of it, and it is not uncommon in the business. So maybe she got scared and decided not to share her story officially on an official statement, because she was afraid of not being hired or kind of messing up her career. But her not wanting to do an official statement only brought more questions to the table, and the police wondered if she was being truthful at all. But then somebody called the police with a crazy story, and this person said that someone he knew had predicted the murders weeks prior. The guy was David Berkowitz, the imprisoned son of Sam killer. Now, if you remember, he was in prison for killing 6 and wounding 7. And after his convictions, there were rumors that he didn't act alone or in his own accord, but he was a puppet in a much larger satanic cult. The informant told the police that a couple of weeks before the murder, he told him that his cult was going to torture and perform a ritual killing on Halloween. He described it as the photographer's residence near Greenwich Village. During the ritual, David said that these people would kill the occupants and clean the residence of any incriminating evidence against the cult. Allegedly, Ronald, the photographer, had a snuff video of one of the killings. And if he was going to share that, if he decided to share that, it was going to shed light on the cult. And it was going to prove that David Berkowitz didn't act alone. Now, the photographer was not he was not very worried about the justice in this case. Apparently, he was using this video that he took of this killing, and he left in the middle of it. He said he didn't want to do anything with it, but he still got a little bit of videos and or video, I should say, and that he was using it to get money out of the cult. Ronald Sisman, the photographer, had quite a few deaths, and they were all drug related. The interesting part was that David Berkowitz gave an accurate description of the photographer's place. He was precise. He's been there before. However, people close to the photographer said that Ronald didn't know David, and that they never seen them together or around the same places. However, one of the things that made police believe that this was true is that they took their driver's license, and that is something that other cults have done in the past. And they would take back their documents evidence to prove that they killed the right person. To this day, no one had been arrested for the murders. I read this article that was talking about how satanic occults were really a big part of a lot of unsolved mysteries. But the smart, I don't know how to call it, I don't know if their process or their planning or whatever, it's so good that they never get caught. In this case, if they didn't, and in fact, if the occult was behind this murder, and the photographer decided to share this video with the police, it could have proved that David didn't act alone, and a lot more people would have gone to jail. So getting rid of the photographer and his girlfriend was only a small price to pay for this cult in order to not get caught. This thing goes back to not only the drugs, but death, and also some of the things that people do to kind of fix the problem that it's right in front of them. In this case, the problem was the debt that he had, apparently, and that it was proven by the police. And dealing with the wrong kind of people, a satanic cult. Just overall a bad decision. Now, of course, everything makes sense, but nothing has been proven. So this will remain an unsolved mystery unless there is a way to prove, or unless there's something that really points to somebody in specific. Because even if you knew that this was something done by a satanic cult, that's not how the justice system works. You need a name, you need fingerprints, you need a person, or a few of them. But blaming it on an entity like a satanic cult, it's not a thing. At least not today. Some people say that, Ronald Sisman and his girlfriend got what he deserved. And I just really don't like to think about that, because I didn't know Mr. Sisman or his girlfriend. But I do know that most of us have done something completely stupid or made quite a few mistakes